Coming up, how about a walk-off for your first career home run? This is Locked On Game to Game, MLB.
Every game, every team, every angle. Locked On Game to Game, your team every day.
Welcome in. You're listening to Locked On Game to Game MLB. Local experts join us to recap all of the action for you from yesterday across Major League Baseball. I'm your host, Kainani Stevens. Thank you for making Locked On your first listen every single weekday. Will Benson's first career home run could not have come at a better time for the Cincinnati Reds. He hit a walk-off two-run shot to push the Reds past the Dodgers. Locked On Reds has the exciting recap.
Will Benson. Let's go. What's up? This is Jeff Carr from the Locked On Reds podcast, and if you're not having fun right now, you're not a Reds fan. If you don't love what this team is doing right now, I can't help you, because everything, oh my goodness, how on earth does someone upstage Elly De La Cruz's first ever career home run and first ever career triple? You hit the walk-off that wins the game. Will Benson with a beautiful shot. Both him and Elly De La Cruz hitting it just about out of the moon deck in right field. I love this team. And the Reds have just won a series against the Los Angeles Dodgers. What is life right now?
Alejandro Kirk drove in the go-ahead run for the Blue Jays, and the Astros left the game-tying run in scoring position in the ninth, giving Toronto a win against Houston for the second straight day. Locked On Blue Jays has more after the win.
Hello, friends. Craig Ballard, Locked On Blue Jays. Man, the Houston Astros walked into the Rogers Center on Monday night and delivered a punch right to the teeth of the Toronto Blue Jays with that 6-run onslaught in the first inning. They cruised to that 11-4 Monday victory. Well, at this point, the hot Jose Barrios on the mound Thursday, as the Toronto Blue Jays all of a sudden have a chance to take 3 out of 4 in this series. Awesome. John Schneider tried to blow this game again. The offense did very little again, but shout out to Alejandro Kirk, who delivered a clutch pinch hit to complement Bo Bichette's home run and Brandon Belt's good game, and Chris Bassett really good. I mean, the Hound on the mound ran the Astros to the ground. Bassett gave up a 2-run home run to Yordan Alvarez. Who the heck doesn't get lit by Yordan Alvarez, right? He's awesome. The rest of the game, he was cash money. He improved his record to 7-4 on the season, ERA down to 3.29. Do you remember his Blue Jay debut back in St. Louis? Well, has Chris Bassett rebounded from that nightmare start? Wow.
Jose Altuve was back in the lineup. He was not the leadoff hitter, though. Mauricio Dubon was. Jose Altuve hadn't hit second in the lineup since the 2020 season. So how would that go? Dubon had 3 hits today. Bassett gave up a 2-run home run to Yordan Alvarez. So you would think, okay, by this news, the Astros won, correct? Wrong. They lost a second straight game. They've only scored 3 runs in the last 2 games after putting up 11 runs in the first game of the series. But they come back tomorrow on Thursday, if you're listening Thursday, and they oppose the Blue Jays pitcher Barrios with Framber Valdez, their ace, and they hope to take the game. If they do, the Astros will take the season series 4-3. It's tied 3-3 right now. Stay tuned into Locked On Astros and make sure you check out our YouTube channel. We've got you covered. We've got a lot of dusty quotes, a lot of talk between Dana Brown and Yanner Diaz, playing time, Maldonado, trade deadline. All that's coming up on the coming Locked On Astros.
Alec Burleson's 8th inning home run for the only offense of the game between the Cardinals and the Rangers allowed St. Louis to steal one on the road on Wednesday. Locked On Cardinals takes us through the pitcher's duel.
The losing streak is history after the Cardinals come out on top of the Rangers in a pitcher's duel in Texas. Hey, it's JD from Locked On Cardinals, and after 2 close losses on Monday and Tuesday, the Cardinals had a tough task ahead of them on Wednesday night, with the Rangers throwing arguably their top pitcher, Jon Gray, now that Jacob deGrom is done for the year. And Gray was incredible tonight. He throws a complete game. He allows 4 hits. He strikes out 12, but one of those hits was a solo blast from Alec Burleson, and that 1 run was enough for the Cardinals on this night because their starting pitcher, Jack Flaherty, was also on his A game, firing 6 shutout innings. He punches out 8. Hicks, Gallegos, Helsley, they finish off the final 3 innings, and the Cardinals snap their 5-game losing streak and end the road trip with a win that they should be proud of. For the latest updates and info, be sure to keep it Locked On Cardinals.
The Giants flipped the switch at the last second in Colorado last night, going from down 4 to a 5-4 win in the last 3 innings against the Rockies. Our Locked On local experts tell us what changed in the final frames.
Just a gutsy, grinding win for the San Francisco Giants. They were down 4-0. They come all the way back thanks to some really good defense, a really good bullpen, and the platoon system. This is Ben Caspick with the Locked On Giants podcast. Michael Conforto made a basically game-saving catch early in this game, and the Giants were shut down by the Rockies starting pitcher. But once that bullpen finally came in, the Giants were able to get some matchups. Gabe Kapler going to righty against a lefty and hit. It's just, if you're gonna complain about the platoons, you got to watch tonight's game and realize that is why they won this game. They also played clean defense besides just Conforto. Wade made a great play, and the bullpen, just an unbelievable job. Webb didn't have his best outing, but the bullpen shut it down. Duvall in the ninth, unbelievable. Great win for the Giants, over 500. We'll break it down tomorrow on Locked On Giants, where it's your team every day.
Coming up, the Nationals go wire to wire against the Diamondbacks. This is Locked On Game to Game MLB. Today's edition of Locked On Game to Game is brought to you by Birddogs. They're stylish but comfortable shorts, perfect for golfing or wherever you're heading. And you can go to birddogs.com/LockedOnMLB. Enter promo code LockedOnMLB for a free Yeti-style tumbler with your order. That's birddogs.com/LockedOnMLB for a free Yeti-style tumbler. You won't want to take your bird dogs off, we promise. Welcome back to Locked On Game to Game MLB. I'm your host, Kainani Stevens. Thank you for making Locked On your first listen every single weekday. The Red Sox scored 4 runs in the 8th inning to take the lead, and the Guardians' comeback attempt the rest of the way came up just short. Locked On Guardians explains the 1-run loss.
At the end of the day, they don't have to be pretty. You just got to win. This might have been the sloppiest game of the year. I, don't follow the Red Sox in depth, so I can't say it's their sloppiest. But in general, this was a mess of a game. But at the end of the day, the Guardians get the win. Tanner Bybee continues to be their ace. So on yesterday's show, I'll stand by it. He has been their best pitcher over the last 2 months. Outside of maybe Logan Allen, it's been the rookies leading this team. And we're just continuing to see that. Some great performances offensively and pitching-wise. After yesterday's game, the bullpen got it done today. Cleveland wins this one. We don't know who's pitching for Boston tomorrow, but a chance to win this series after the split with Minnesota, continuing to try to get closer and closer to the elusive 500 number. Cleveland wins, going for the series win tomorrow.
The Nationals never led against the Diamondbacks yesterday. They took a 3-run lead in the first, never looked back. Our Locked On Nationals host has more on what kept Washington a step behind all day long.
Ryan Clary from Locked On Nationals here. The Nationals lose to the Diamondbacks tonight of a score of 6-2. Patrick Corbin giving up his 3 earned runs in that first inning. It wasn't a pretty one. Multiple doubles there to start off the game. That was the 2022 version of Patrick Corbin we've been dreading to see. But after that, 5 straight innings of really good pitching, to be honest, when we're talking about Patrick Corbin. But he wasn't even the story tonight. Again, let's talk about it. This Nationals offense did not get the job done when we needed them most. Runners in scoring position, they weren't getting runs across the board, and it's simple as that. And obviously, the Nationals did play a game tonight, so you know what that means. This Nationals bullpen did not live up to the expectations. Once again, Jordan Weems just getting called up from AAA, giving up multiple earned runs in that 9th inning. If you have an answer of what to do with this Nationals bullpen, you let Davey Martinez and myself know.
The Brewers completely tattooed the Orioles pitching staff last night, scoring 10 runs on the way to an easy win in Milwaukee. Locked On Orioles goes over Baltimore's pitching woes in the loss.
You know what that was? That was a very, very bad baseball game that the Orioles just played. Falling 10-2 to the Milwaukee Brewers as the Orioles lose the series in Milwaukee, and they will try to stave off a sweep on Thursday. But just bad stuff. Dean Kramer with his first bad start in a while. 6 earned runs was the most he's given up all season. Yeah, the offense got 2 runs, but in the 9th, they did nothing against hopefully future Oriole Corbin Burns through 8 scoreless innings. Just a bad combination. Whereas Tuesday night was a pretty good baseball game. The O's just happened to lose in extra innings. They got stomped on Wednesday. And they've now lost 3 out of the last 4 series. This Orioles team, offense a little shaky, hitting a little bit of a skid. We'll see if they can snap out of it, but Wednesday's was not good at all. And I'll recap it all coming up on Thursday's episode of the Locked On Orioles podcast.
For the second straight day, the Angels scored 6 runs in the middle 3 innings, and for the second straight day, LA didn't have much of a problem with the Cubs. Locked On hosts from both sides recap the final.
It was a complete team win on Wednesday as the Angels beat the Cubbies 6-2. Hey everybody, it's Mike Frisch, one half of Locked On Angels. Angels win 3 in a row with that victory on Wednesday night over Chicago. And it was a complete team win because the pitching worked, and the hitting worked, and the defense worked. Let's talk about the pitching for a moment. Jaime Barría had another start, went 5 innings, hasn't gone less than 5 innings since he was moved into the starting rotation. The bullpen pitched well. They held the lead. Ben Joyce, Sam Bachman, and even Aaron Loop had a 1-2-3 inning. And then the defense looked fantastic. Mike Trout took a home run away, and he had 2 incredible catches in center field. And he hit a home run to help lead the charge. Mickey Moniak had a bases-clearing double in the 6th inning. Again, the Angels win 6-2. Why are they so good offensively right now? John and I will tell you on Locked On Angels.
Cubs get beat up in LA 6-2 tonight. They led 2-1 briefly. It was a 2-2 game. I believe it was the top of the 7th. The Cubs had the bases loaded on 3 walks with 2 outs, couldn't come through. Same situation for the Angels in the bottom half, and they did come through, and that was really the difference in the game. The Cubs only managed 3 hits in this game. Bullpen kind of melted down again for them as well, and it was more of the same for the Cubs, who are on another losing streak and very quickly falling out of the standings in the division, and changes might be coming. No real standout performances from anybody today, or else I would tell you. But Mike Trout hit a home run. He's pretty good. And that's it. Very sad. Very rough season for the Chicago Cubs.
That's it for this edition of Locked On Game to Game MLB. We thank you again for making Locked On your first listen every single weekday. Make sure you're subscribed to Locked On MLB and your favorite team's Locked On podcast on YouTube and wherever else you get your podcasts from. I'm Kainani Stevens. This has been Locked On Game to Game.